construct of patient involvement in the care process extends well beyond the intimacy of the care environment. We all see great value in that, incorporating a patient's voice in that intimate encounter between a patient and a provider. But there's so much extrapolated power that extends beyond that kind of interaction. It really reflects our involvement of patient's perspective in all parts of the construct, ranging from, for example, in hospitalization, admission, to the care process, to dismissal, and recognizing the power that that can bring to improving both provider satisfaction and patient satisfaction. Not only satisfaction, but the quality of care we offer. Just recognizing the power of that, I think, is really quite inspiring.
Initially, I was asked by my doctor if I'd be interested in joining, and I wanted to be a part of it because I wanted to give back what the Mayo Clinic had given me, and to have a say in my care in the future, and to be able to help other patients understand the process, and to know that there's a voice out there for the patients that the Mayo Clinic and the people that work at the Mayo Clinic will hear, and that we're that voice.
As we continue on this journey, we create a path, and I hope that I can be someone who helps to form that path and shape that path and carve the path for someone who will go behind me, and that that person can be reassured that someone has been ahead of them, has tried to make a way that creates an environment that's more user-friendly, more family-centered, and just a better experience for an entire family.
We've talked to our friends and family about the importance of the program up here at Mayo, and because we think that it's going to lead to really an excellence in healthcare, and it'll become a standard for other healthcare providers to give the same type of care.
If I can contribute anything to help that might help somebody else, I think it's very worthwhile.
The speakers they get are just wonderful, and the people we're involved with are great, and I think it's a privilege to be part of it.
People come and want to be involved on a patient and family advisory council for many reasons, but the one that I've seen that's really common is it's a way that they can give back, that if they're giving back to the organization and all of the wonderful people who have taken care of themselves or a family member.
Well, I do find that I'm more assertive. I just try to be very straightforward, but I do try to get my points across and what I need, and I am more assertive about it now.
One of the initiatives that was brought to One Voice was a card where the patients could list their questions before they go in to see the doctor, so I know that's part of an initiative. Excellent. So I make sure that I have my questions in mind and that I get them all asked.
It has reinforced my belief that patients and their families must be their own advocates, and it's also demonstrated to me that the medical team with whom we're working is very devoted to making a very positive difference in all areas of patient care.
The opportunity to be involved with One Voice has helped me to be a better part of the health team, the healthcare team. I know more what I can expect and what my role really is.
I never walk away from a meeting without feeling like they have touched my life, kind of patient to patient, and I grow with that. I grow personally for my own health listening to them, and they absolutely make a mark on me in terms of how I see myself working with all patients at Mayo.
It's helped me understand that I do have a say in my care, and it shows that the physicians and doctors in the Mayo Clinic care about the patient, not only just by taking care of them, but also listening to them.
Before I belonged to this group, I didn't always remember the patient as a major stakeholder, and now I do.
I I think that as Mayo gets into the patient council mode, that 5 years from now, what we're doing in One Voice will have trickled throughout Mayo, and that all the different departments will be looking to the patients to say, how's it going? What are we doing right? How can you help us do it better?
I would like to see very concrete and long-lasting results from the early efforts that are currently underway. I would also like to see One Voice as a very systemic part of the Mayo culture and see it as being accessible to all patients and their families.
Well, at Mayo Clinic, the needs of the patient come first. Now, we do a lot of research to learn about patients' medical needs, but when it comes to service, how do we learn about what they need from us? We can guess, and we have a lot of committees that guess at what patients need. Just makes so much more sense to have people tell us what they need and try to do that in a systematic way. And the One Voice program, patient family advisory councils, really what they allow us to do is learn from patients. We need to see our practice from the eyes of the patient, hear what they have to say. It's the way we're going to learn best how to improve.
As a parent, I realize that I sometimes know things about my own children that their provider might not, and I think we need to be able to pull our thoughts together to speak with one voice as we're taking care of kids. And as a pediatrician, I realize that I'm never just taking care of the child, but I'm treating the whole family. So I need to make sure the family is engaged and involved as I listen to them and get their input. And as the medical director of our children's hospital, I know that families have a lot of input that can help me as we're planning services and planning the way we provide care so that we can really make it more patient and family-centered to provide what families really need.
I just had this moment where I said, gosh, over the last 10 years, I bet I've been involved in maybe 40 or 50 continuous improvement efforts at Mayo. And in general, in reality, I've never included a patient or family member in that activity, and I was embarrassed by that, and because I felt like we had really been missing out on a simple yet powerful way to involve patients in improving our processes.
I try to think of things, and I want my team to think of things that, does this make things good for patients? Does it make things the same for patients, or does it make things better for patients? And we really need to be moving forth and embrace proposals that make things better for patients. Things are good for patients. We make things good for patients, and the needs of our patients do come first.
We're a very data-driven organization. We want to see results. We want to see the impact that this has had in improving care. And we're going to have to do some real research. Mayo Clinic fundamentally is about improving the care of patients. And so we need to be able to demonstrate that the input that we're getting from these councils is generalizable, that it leads us to do things that improve people's care overall.
In 5 years, we'll have an institutional PFAC, one in every division. We'll have open patient involvement in all process. And whenever anyone comes and says, I want to look at a new process, we'll say, where's your patient representative?
I'd like to think that in the next 5 years, we'll be able to actually always think of families first, that we'll always think of the patient and what they can do, that we'll have patients and families on most of our committees as we're making decisions and as we're following progress. So I think that family-centered care and putting the patient truly in the middle of all of our decision-making should rise to the top of our thoughts and be a natural part of what we're doing.